Hey everyone, Sweet Johnny Cage here, back with another guide for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This time I'm going to show you how to defeat the Midgard-Sormer boss, better known as the Midgard-Zalem from the original game. They have relocalized the name to better match the original Japanese name, which actually was the Midgard-Sormer. Okay, so this fight is a little frustrating. The terrain that you have to fight this thing in is littered with dead trees that you constantly have to navigate around. First thing I recommend doing is if you're controlling Cloud as a party leader, you want to immediately switch to Punisher mode and block because the boss is going to release a physical attack on you that you can easily counter. By assessing the boss, you can see that it is weak to Blizzard. However, that's not exactly helpful information because the boss moves around so much that you're not really going to be able to get the full damage from a Blizzard attack off in time. The boss is just going to move away from it. It's still worth trying, and if you get the sense that the boss is going to sit still for a second, go for it. But I tried my best to deal as much Blizzard damage as I could, and I really couldn't hang with it. You will notice that the boss has two health bars, the Cranial Dome and the Midgard-Sormer boss health itself. They're both related. However, you want to focus on the Cranial Dome whenever possible, because if you defeat that part of the boss or deplete that health bar, it gets fully staggered instantaneously, which we will do later on. So, for the vast majority of the beginning of this fight, you really just want to switch between party members. This way, you can get it to focus on one person and then start moving around to somebody else. You saw there, I cast Blizzard, didn't really do a whole lot, but at about 70%, the boss will change to Phase 2, where it begins summoning currents out of the swamp, and you now have to watch out for those, although they don't really come around too often. Scorching Breath is the real thing that you're going to have to watch out for. The boss will spin around to its left, your right, and the best way to deal with this is to really just block. You can attempt to run away from it, but it moves so fast, and if you just block, you really won't take a ton of damage. Alright, so if you have the level 2 healing materia from a Chadley VR mission, it's one of the very early VR missions, highly recommend you put that on Aerith or somebody, because this boss can mete out some damage really, really fast. For Feast, those are physical attacks, so with Cloud you can switch over to Punisher mode, and you'll be able to counter those abilities. Again, you can see here I'm really just doing my best to use Blizzard materia, but it starts sinking into the swamp. It moves around a ton. It's just so hard to deal with. All right, so once somebody gets flipped out, for me it was Cloud, you will notice that a target reticle appeared on the Cranial Dome. This is just a signal to you to start blasting the Cranial Dome and really focus on that. It should be your main focus. So I'm going to drop an Arcane Ward here. Arcane Wards work very similar to Final Fantasy VII Remake in so that any damaging spells that are cast when you're standing in the ward will be cast twice. They're not necessarily free, but you do get a double cast off. So if you want to keep attempting to use Blizzard, have whoever has the Blizzard materia or the ice materia stand inside of that flower petal and then use the Blizzard materia. Now, there is something that only Aerith can do with respect to the Arcane Wards, and that is something called Ward Shift. If you press triangle anywhere in the battlefield with Aerith, she will teleport to wherever that Arcane Ward is. So it's a really good way to bait enemies to follow her, and then immediately press triangle when they're about to hit you, and then you get far away from them, and you can start casting damaging spells on them. In the final phase of the fight, the boss will cast Toxic Waters, which will reduce the physical defense of whoever gets hit by it. To me, it just seemed to hit just Barret, but it could be because my AI characters were blocking at that time. I'm not sure if that attack can just be straight up blocked and you won't get the debuff. You saw there that it went back into the water, and then it started to cast Venomous Sting. It didn't use that, though, so I'm not really sure what the deal is there. I blocked the Fire Breath there, so I was able to get out of it no problem. I'm going to cast Cure here. I am standing in the Arcane Ward. I thought that it would cast twice, but it does not, so don't even bother standing in an Arcane Ward to cast Cure. It doesn't matter. But we are very close to cracking the Cranial Dome, and then you will notice that the boss will immediately get stunned. It started to use Thermal Absorption. I'm not sure if that's a heal. It seems to be, or it could just be a charge for the Flame Breath. Again, not really sure. I kind of killed it right after it did that, so I don't exactly know what that ability does, but it seemed to be sucking the heat off of a tree, so I would imagine it's for the flame breath or something. Okay, so we're going to end it with a firework blade, just a nice synergy ability to end it with a little bit of flash, and that's it. Not too difficult of a boss. I'm actually kind of glad it wasn't that difficult, because in the original, it is difficult, but then you can just go back and kill it at any time. So it's nice that this is a bit of just an easier story boss, and I will not spoil what happens next, so enjoy. All right, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. I'll do my best to help you out. If you're looking for more guides for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, please subscribe to the channel so you get alerted when new guides go live. If you're interested in supporting the channel monetarily, please consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join button below this video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. The links for those are in the description below. As always, I'm Sweet Johnny Cage. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.